After the Alabama paradox occurred, another paradox known as the population paradox was discovered. The population paradox occurs when an increase in a district's population can cause it to lose a seat to a slower growing district. So in this example, we're going to demonstrate the population paradox. And it says, a metro area consists of 3 fire precincts: Business, Lakeside, and Uptown. In 2010, the Metro Fire Board hired 24 new firefighters and apportioned the firefighters according to the number of residencies per precinct. The following table shows the number of residencies in each precinct in the year 2010, and here's the table here. So we have a total population within this area as 37,600 residencies, and then they're broken up within these precincts here: the Business, the Lakeside, and the Uptown, and here are their individual populations. Demonstrate that the population paradox occurs if the same number of firefighters were apportioned according to the number of residencies per precinct for 2020. So we're first going to address what it would be for 2010. So we have these 24 firefighters that were hired in 2010, and they're going to be apportioned throughout these precincts here. So the first thing we'll do is we will find the standard divisor for the year 2010. So, of course, we have 24 new firefighters. We have a total population here of 37,600. So we'll go ahead and we'll divide this by 24. And we have a standard divisor of approximately 1,566.667. We then go ahead and find the standard quota for each one of these subgroups here. So we'll go ahead and we'll divide this 5,300 by the standard divisor. And its standard quota is 3.383. We do the next one. We divide by the standard divisor here. And its standard quota is 6.319. And finally, for this precinct here, 22,400 divided by 1,566.667, that standard divisor there, and its standard quota is 14.298. Now, of course, we are using Hamilton's method here, and Hamilton's method says then round each one of the standard quotas down to the nearest integer. So this gets rounded down to 3, this gets rounded down to 6, and this gets rounded down to 14. 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 14, that's 23. So we have a firefighter left over. And of course, Hamilton's method of apportionment says distribute that leftover to the standard quota with the highest fractional value. And that's this one right here, 0.383. So this precinct gets an extra firefighter. So that goes to 4. 4 plus 6 is 10, and 14, there's our 24. So according to Hamilton's method of apportionment, in the year 2010, the 24 firefighters would be apportioned to each precinct according to this right here, 4, 6, and 14. Now it says, demonstrate that the population paradox occurs if the same number of firefighters were apportioned according to the number of residencies per precinct for 2020. So here is the population for 2020. Same 3 districts: Business, Lakeside, and Uptown. This is for the year 2020, except the population grew. It went from 37,600 to 45,000. And each individual little precinct grew also accordingly. But we still have the 24 firefighters that we want to apportion. So we'll do the process again. We will divide this by the 24 seats. This comes out to be 1,875. So then the standard quota for the business district here, we divide by the standard divisor, 6,800 divided by 1,875. And this is 3.627. Do the same here. 12,500 divided by 1,875. And the standard quota here is 6.667. And finally, for Uptown, the standard quota for here is 13.2 0.707. Again, using Hamilton's method of apportionment, we round down. This rounds down to 3. This rounds to 6. And this rounds to 13. 3 plus 6, that's 9, plus 13 more, that's 22. So now we have 2 firefighters left over. And of course, using Hamilton's method of apportionment, the standard quotas with the largest fractional components get the leftovers. So here's the largest fractional component, 0.707. So the Uptown District will gain a firefighter. That's the 14. And then the Lakeside, that's the next largest fractional component, 0.667. So then Lakeside gets a leftover firefighter. So 3 plus 7 is 10, and 14, there's our 24. However, notice that it's changed. Business originally in 2010 had 4, and in 2020 now has 3, and Lakeside in 2010 had 6, and in 2020 has 7. Now the business district, it experienced a growth of 28.3%. So from 2010 to 2020, the population grew by 28.3%. In Lakeside, from 2010 to 2020, it grew by 26.3%. So it did not grow as fast. It did not have as large an increase as the business district. Yet the business district lost a seat to Lakeside. And that's the population paradox.